Episode 31, Comfort Zones. Introducing Lisa McDonald on the BTS Creative Academy podcast, UNCUT. With me, your host, Martin Colton. And if you want to join me, it's quite traditional now, actually.
Is it?
I do like a little clap at the beginning.
Oh,
No,
I have heard that. Yeah.
So I sync the video, because we're on video and we're on audio. So I sync the two by doing a little clap, because I can't afford a clapperboard yet. So if you'd like to join me,
yes.
Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. Sweet.
Ta-da.
That was good. That was nice. So Lisa,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is really nice to have you here. So, how have you been?
Yeah, tired, yeah, but good.
Tired?
Yeah, life is busy.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. But I'm excited about fall and like autumn and
Yes, yeah. Because it's just changing at the moment, isn't it? We've had a really warm September.
I know. I kind of went jumper shopping and I was all ready for it, and then it was like sort of second or third summer, whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah, it was.
But you know,
They call it Indian summer. Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
A late summer's an Indian summer.
Yeah.
But I'm not sad about it. But
No.
I was ready for some cold weather.
Yeah, but it's starting to creep in now. I
Yeah,
think.
the rain today.
The rain today. Yeah, we're here with a leaky roof. So we've got the bucket down there.
If you hear some dripping,
If
it's
you
not
hear some dripping,
your
it's,
nose or me. It's
Yes.
it's the roof.
it's the roof is leaking. Because we're in a very old building,
Yes,
which we're lucky to be in. I always feel blessed when I'm here.
I know.
I always feel like lucky to have access to this place.
A little bit of history, isn't it? I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
History for the town, I guess. But also like history for me, for you.
A little bit.
I've been doing stuff here for like 20 years. You've been doing stuff here for...
Not as long as that.
Not
no,
quite as long.
Sorry to say.
When did you first come here?
2012? No, 2011.
What was your
Alice in
first?
Wonderland, Christmas show Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, a long time ago now.
Do I remember? What was you playing in Alice in Wonderland?
I was playing the Knave of Hearts.
Yes, I do
Yes.
remember that. Yeah.
People don't remember that I played
No.
the Knave of Hearts.
They remember the legs.
Yeah, they remember the outfit a lot more than what I
the
played.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, what a wonderful thing to be remembered for is your physical attributes. But I think that's why they kept me in the theatre company. They were like, a legs. Well, we'll see what else she's got.
Yeah, see if she's got any talent.
Anything else
Yeah.
to offer? Yeah, why not?
And you have done quite a lot in the local theatre community, haven't you? Over the years?
Yeah, I'd say a reasonable amount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More, sort of a lot less recently, but yeah. In my history, done a fair few bits and pieces.
So before we go over like the community theatre, what is, you say you're really busy at the moment, tired. What's going on? What are you up to?
I think I'm just investing a lot in my career at the moment, which I'm an executive assistant or PA, as people would know it. But I think I've invested a lot in my career and my development. My position has been quite important to me. It speaks to a lot of my, I think, personal attributes as like an organizer, a planner, someone who's quite organized and is quite structured, and bringing that structure into an organization is actually quite empowering. Because not to say that these organisations wouldn't survive without me, because of course they would. But it's quite amazing to see how big an organisation can be so unstructured sometimes. And actually you can be I call myself the sand in between all of the rocks and the pebbles and everything that just kind of make sure that, to be quite honest, some shit actually happens or gets closed out, and the wheels keep turning.
So the job title is executive assistant. So are you looking after one person within a company or multiple people? Is it, I assume, a person? Because when I think of like a PA, I think of like someone that's sort of managing someone. And
this is interesting. What springs to mind when you think PA?
When I think of a PA, I think of someone that is managing someone's diary, managing someone's work schedule, and making sure that they're doing the things that they want to be or should be doing for the business.
Good. Yeah. I in a nutshell, I would agree with everything you've said. I think there is a lot of history in that role in terms of being secretarial or maybe buying the wife's birthday present or whatever it may be, Yeah. And we're very far removed from that. But I think there is a little bit of hangover for people in perception that particular
of the
role.
old-fashioned way that, yeah.
Exactly. So someone like me, I mean, I've done a diploma as well, so I'm trying to bring it into the modern age and be a bit more business strategic. I think that's the term I would use. But yeah, just kind of go that one bit further. Rather than writing them in, it's actually following them up and, you know, communicating with people, having sub-meetings and, you know, connecting all the dots. It can be really interesting.
Is this a highly pressured job?
Yeah. It can be. Yeah, it's really fun. I think so, because you are at the right hand of people like the COO, CEO, CFO, whoever it may be. So you're in it, but you're not the one. You know, it doesn't rest solely on your shoulders. So it's some of the fun bits without some of the responsibility as well. But still, it has its own.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you do a job like this, because I know you as Lisa, the actress, as an actor. So what skills from the acting that you've done do you take into this professional world?
Well, it's really funny you ask that sort of question, because I think I would call myself like an introverted extrovert. So I'm not comfortable in those spaces. Sitting in a board meeting with some really, I would say, powerful people, let's just say, it's really outside of my comfort zone. I don't know if you've ever done something called insights before, where you kind of figure out what colour you are on a colour wheel. So
tell me about this.
So I suppose your personality traits or the way you work could be associated with a particular colour, and those colours might be indicative of how you bring yourself to work, or maybe in your personal life. So there's red, which is like the fiery person, and I think if you're red, you're quite direct, you're quite you wouldn't mince your words like I am now. You would be asking the question and then that's it. No fluff, no how was your weekend. Yellow, they're very sociable people. They're very, it's always, social first, work afterwards. And some of their work might get done in a very social capacity, i.e. like relaxed meetings, nothing too formal. A green is more, I would say, organisational, very calm, very earthy, a bit like that. I'm a green, so my primary colour is a green, so I'm that sand that kind of goes in between everybody. I'm quite empathetic, I kind of listen to people's emotions as well. And then blue is also a very organised, very structured, very regimented. But that's when you kind of get back into kind of like the red zone where it's very, very that way. So you can kind of see how it goes. Oh, just knocked the microphone there. Goes around in a big circle.
So do you work out what the colour is yourself, or does someone tell you? Does someone say you're a blue?
Oh yeah, it's a course you go on. Like
it's a course, right?
Fill out like a questionnaire of however many.
What's that? There's the FBI one that I did, the online test. There's 16 personality types, and then it gives you like an ENFJ, and then it gives you do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, they give you like you're a personality type. I'm an ENFJ.
Okay. I've done it, but I can't remember.
Yeah. So that's what I remember. I was quite pleased with it when it gave you like the who other people in history do you like align with, and like it would show you like Obama, and you're like, yeah, I can be like, I'm an Obama.
I'm a president.
I'm a president. I can do that.
But yeah, sorry. Going back to what we were saying, I would say I'm this green person. I'm quite organised, so I'm a support, basically.
Yeah.
But sort of sitting in those positions is sometimes a little bit like I have to pull on that red energy. So I feel like it's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of situation. So it's not pretending. It's not being false, but you definitely pull on a different energy and. I suppose pretending to be confident in what you're talking about or what you're doing, and sort of showing that to the world. It's not being ingenuine at all, but I think you have to just sort of flex ever so slightly depending on what the situation requires.
Well, these things like confidence are a skill that takes time to develop. I genuinely don't believe that anyone is born confident. I believe that we become confident through time and through experiences. So to say like fake it till you make it is almost like kind of just learning how to be.
I think that's a much nicer way of putting it. Fake it till you make it. But I mean, even now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't class myself as a confident person. I could stand on this stage and almost within reason do anything, but I wouldn't say that requires confidence at all. That just, I suppose it's bravery in a different guise. I think you're someone else, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And similarly at work,
that's very interesting. A lot of actors say this.
Yeah.
That you're putting on you're being someone else. And I used to say that. I used to say that's really why I enjoy acting, because I don't have to be me.
No, you can be anyone.
I can take those words and those actions that I was given and do that, and that's where the confidence is. It's within them.
Yeah. And it's a similar thing at work, I think. You can be that person. You can know, I am exec level, I am that person. So the person you are at home is different to the one you are at work, and the one you are on stage and with your friends, with your family. They're all different. So I suppose it's, I don't know, playing parts just in different areas of your life. Areas.
And I think that's important as well, to be adaptable to that, to realise that that's okay.
Yeah, I agree, because there's not everything you want to bring to work. I don't want to show my true self at work, because I think they think I was a little bit nuts. But you know, when I'm at home with Sean, that's when
the real Lisa comes out.
Yeah. So
because there's something that I've discovered in recent years, for me, allowing myself to be vulnerable. And that's really difficult to do that, especially I've never been able to do that in a work environment. In a work environment that's when I've had sort of sales jobs or customer service or retail, you know, the normal jobs, I've never been able to be vulnerable in those environments.
Right, okay.
I have been in theatre, and I have been recently in life been able to be more vulnerable. Do you know what I mean by vulnerable?
Yeah, no. Do you think
be myself?
Do you think that's because you were in your work life, like in a customer-facing environment, sort of face-to-face with the public? So being Martin, you weren't. You were Martin, the
person that works in the bank,
the sales advisor. Which sounds really daft, doesn't it? But if they were see true Martin, that's different, and it's not who you are at work.
Yeah, and I think for me, in some of the professional environments that I've been in the past, weren't always very nice environments. So you had to have that level of like that guard, that defence.
I agree. Yeah.
Up.
They often say you've got sort of in the wellbeing space. They say you have a mask. You wear a mask at work, and really you should let that mask off. And I sort of slightly disagree with that, if I'm being honest. Growing up in my very first sort of full-time job was an office-based one. Being an 18-year-old learning about office politics for the first time was just like, oh my gosh. And you learn very quickly, and sort of added social media to that. You're like, right, okay, there's certain things that I can't put on social media when I'm friends with people at work. So I just, as an example, I'm not friends with anyone at work until after I've left, which they all find very weird. I'm like, no, that's...
Yeah, because there's a judgment that may be made upon you that will affect your career.
Absolutely.
Through just going out and having a good time one night. Like, you could go out, have a good time. Like, we're all allowed to go out and have a good time. But you go out, have a good time. One of your friends posts a picture of you singing, standing on the table.
You and I grew up in the age where there was always someone with a camera. And I'm sorry, that was me. I was always the person with the camera.
Yeah.
And they'd upload them on the Monday or whatever. And you think, oh my gosh, why? Why was I doing that? Because you were just being Martin, having a good time.
Yeah. We were the era that made the mistakes, I think. I would like to think this new age of like, I'd like to think my son's 18, and I'd like to think as he's going out into the world, he doesn't care about social media at all.
Doesn't he?
No, he just couldn't care less about it.
Fascinating.
He's on Snapchat for communication and WhatsApp, but social media is sharing what he's doing, no interest.
Wow.
At all.
That's progression though. I think that's good. See, I say we're the problem generation.
Yes.
Because we're the ones that grew up with MSN Messenger, like Facebook 1.0 or whatever, MySpace.
We were the ones that made the mistakes.
Oh, but we taught the older generation.
Yeah.
So now they're making the mistakes, checking in every time they're in Costa. And then we taught the younger generation who overshare, like to a really scary point, I think. So it's nice to hear maybe the generation after that
I hope
are
so.
learning.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Maybe it's just my son.
Maybe you've got one of the lucky ones. Maybe you're just
But it's funny in like when you some of the things you see on social media, you know as well that it's not the real world.
We know that.
Yeah.
I think younger people. I don't think they do know that yet.
Right.
Not really. They're learning. They think it's all. This is how people live. They live on yachts with, amazing straight white teeth and tiny bodies and.
there's definitely a comparison problem that I know some younger people that are comparing everything they see of everyone's good life and going, oh my God, they're doing this, they're doing that, what am I doing today?
I know.
Like what's my value in my life and my world? Because theirs is amazing, so I'm doing everything wrong. And really, it's just a photo. It's just a moment that you're looking at.
And they only show the good stuff. So it's not, like you say, it's not real life, and it's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, we're sort of from a certain town. I sort of think people who live in this area, it's, there's always a certain, I don't know, you grow up in a certain way and looking at that thinking, I'm not enough. What I look like, what I'm doing, who I am, who I'm friends with, I'm not enough. And that's so not true. That's so not true. And that's, I think, our generation, maybe the younger generation too, can start being those advocates and kind of saying, right, well, I'm not going to post things with filters. I'm not going to, post myself on a yacht or whatever. Oh, I said that before, but, doing something crazy. My kitchen's a mess and the floor's dirty and, I've got my hair scraped up because I haven't washed it for 3 days. That's reality.
Yeah. Maybe that's the post we should be sharing.
I agree. I think we should just start being those advocates. I mean, just being on this podcast.
Being ourselves, being authentic selves, being our true selves and not being afraid of that.
So there was I'm probably just giving it all away now, but there was something I wanted to start up a really long time ago called the Filterless Existence Collaborative or something, or collective, because I just thought women sharing themselves is fine, but sharing their true selves and trying their hand at, I don't know, a new sport or without the filter, like normal bodies, real genuine women with stories that younger women or even young men could look up to and think, no, actually, yeah, that's life, and I'm willing to share that with the world and be my true self, not wear that mask. Going back to what we were saying before.
Because it can look impossible, can't it? If like you're saying about the fitness thing there, you look at people that do the fitness and they've got fantastic bodies and they're all working out all the time, and it's not really like that. There's not always feasible to be like that. But if you shared more genuine sides of that, if more people did that, then maybe people would have more confidence to get involved with stuff and do stuff within their life.
No, it's true. And I can pinpoint one day a month when I know my body is going to look at its peak. I know when that is. And if I posted that every single month, I think that would bore the hell out of people, for one. But B, it would look completely unachievable. You don't see me when I've had a really disgusting McDonald's and my belly's bloated to what's it because I've been sat on the sofa. We don't share that. We don't. I think we should share it more personally.
Yeah, let's share it. I'm going to share a picture tonight. At my worst.
I look forward to it. Yeah, we'll exchange it. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Let's be those advocates in the world. Yeah.
So what was this thing called that you wanted to? So you thought about starting this thing up before?
Yeah, like a filterless existence. So I kind of wanted it to be a platform that it wasn't just me. It was maybe adminned by several different women sharing their journey. If you wanted to follow my story, come to my page or follow it through the Filterless Existence. But I think just encouraging younger people to just be their true selves, because it's in our diversity where all the fun happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to be the same. That's boring. No. Like I kind of feel really uncomfortable, and I don't mean all of it, but with certain changes to people's bodies that they make quite intentionally, i.e. like aesthetics and fillers. And I think I'm getting to a stage where I think a lot of women all look the same.
Yeah.
little carbon copies of, say, like sort of.
Because I do think, and I might be at danger of saying that, okay, if there's anyone listening, but I think that's through fear.
Maybe it's wanting to be what's accepted, and if to put a name on it as an example, not the whole thing, but. If Kim Kardashian is the most favourable and the most good-looking to everyone else, I want to look like that because you want that affiliation with your kind of peers. But it's what
start up this movement. What's stopping you?
What's
stopping you?
What's weird is being that person, like kind of going, this is me. Here I am. But I started to follow a lot of other women and not just women, but men too, pages where they are being just their authentic selves. I'm not interested in what everyone else is following or what's trending. I want to see authenticity. I want people who are just out there trying, living their best life. Wearing clothes to the body they've got, not the body they want, that kind of vibe. I think if everyone did that, the world would be a really different place. Because that kind of strive for being something wouldn't exist, would it? We'd all just want to be ourselves.
Yeah, it is difficult though.
It's hard.
This is hard. It's not. We talk about it like it's easy, but like I say, I've only just recently started to feel like that myself. That finding a place of who am I, and I'm like nearly 40, and I know people that are like nearly 50 that still aren't finding that.
Yeah.
And I bet as soon as I start to feel more into that I am finding my authentic self, maybe I'll start to realise I'm not quite doing it. So I think it's like an ongoing search, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I think, showing up is the hardest thing. I think if more people did it, it would start to snowball.
Yeah.
But I don't know at what point it happened. I still have work to do, but I'm far more comfortable with myself now than I ever have been.
Really?
Yeah, far more, because I'm learning more about me. I'm actually learning what my dislikes and likes are, and doing things that, to quote Marie Kondo, spark joy. Being a bit of that person.
What sparks joy for you, Lisa, then?
Acting. A bit of acting. My job, as stressful as it is, does spark joy.
Well, that's really good. That's that you can say that
well,
within the career that sparks joy.
It's really hard.
Because that can be hard when you have got a passion like acting.
Yeah.
To do that normal job and find the joy in that. I've definitely struggled with that.
I think I'm in a privileged position where very early on I made a very I drew the line in the sand, and I was like, right, this is the decision, because I did want to follow a career in acting once upon a time, and I kind of hit a bit of a wall, and I was like, right, what do I want out of this? And so I decided to go into work, going to an acting school or a university. That door, it was open, but on the first try I failed, as many do, and that just gave me a huge knock. It was really bruised my ego kind of moment, and I thought, right, do I want to live like this? Because in the acting profession, many a setback, many a no thank you. I don't think I'm cut out for that, you know. It's
really, really powerful that you were able to assess yourself and realise where you sit within that. Do you, because a lot of people will go in to be in acting and just look at the dream, just look at I want to be on the stage, I just want to perform, but they'll forget that it's like 99% of it is being told no.
Exactly.
Being told you don't fit within someone else's thing that you would actually like to be involved with. Yeah,
and looking back at it at that moment, I felt like, I don't want to say I was unsupported, that sounds really bad, but my school, I don't think they had many people who auditioned for acting school.
No.
So I didn't feel like anyone understood what was required of the task, so I was just kind of out there on my own. My parents didn't know, the school didn't know, so I just kind of went into these big auditions, which you had to pay for, then travel for, and they were very high-pressured situations, and you would look at other people around the room, and this isn't me being egotistical, but I was thinking, no, I think I'm actually a bit better than you.
Yeah.
But in that moment, was I prepared enough? Probably not. Did I have the backing? No. So therefore, I failed, and I understood why, but I don't think my ego was really. It was a bit delicate. So.
I think that's fair enough. It is very difficult to pursue the career of acting. It is very hard on your ego, and if you can't take it, it's actually a really powerful thing to say no, to say this is not for me, this kind of existence, this life.
I always kind of look back on it thinking I gave up, and maybe in some ways that's true, but then for me acting sparked joy, so I was like, do I want to beat this into submission and just do it and make it happen and make myself miserable trying, or do I make it something that it's an addition to my life, it's not a hindrance, and my whole life doesn't hang on it, that it's just something that I do and enjoy, brings other people joy at the same time. My one true, when I was a lot younger, my one true ambition was always to be on EastEnders. That's all I ever wanted, I just wanted to be on EastEnders.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone did, wasn't it? They sat around the TV and they watched a soap at night, and I was like, that is it. That's
where I want to be.
I didn't know anyone else I didn't go to movies quite a lot when I was younger, or go to the theatre. So I thought that was like the pinnacle of an acting career, was to go on a soap. So my ambition probably wasn't all that high. Anyway.
No, it's still an achievement to get onto there.
Oh, no. Granted, but it was.
But it's not the,
It's not the Leonardo DiCaprio. Like,
you didn't want stardom. You just wanted to be on.
Wanted to do.
You just wanted to do.
I wanted the drama of it all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that is the beauty of community theatre, is that you can have a life, and still you can have a life where you have the job, where you have the income, you have the stability, but you can still have the creativeness, and you can still have the drama, and you can still be amongst other creative people.
Yeah.
Can't you? And you can have that existence for all your life with community theatre.
Absolutely. And like I say, your life doesn't hang on it, i.e. you can say no to things because either you're busy, or, I'm not really fancying that play this time, there's going to be something else in the future, I'll wait. Whereas thinking, crap, I haven't got money coming in, I need to do things that actually don't bring me joy.
Yes.
Whereas it always brings me joy. I only pick things that bring me joy.
By that decision that you made at that early stage has actually given you more flexibility in your life and more control over your life, hasn't it?
Yeah, I would. I didn't see it that way at the time.
No,
but definitely looking back and having this really lovely career I've got now, which probably speaks to some of my more personal traits. I am essentially having my cake and eating it. So
And so when was the last time you performed on the stage?
It was last November.
Okay.
No, October. Sorry, beg your pardon. October.
And where was that? Was that here?
It was here.
Because this is like your main space.
I don't stray very far.
You don't stray. No, you're part of Harlow Theatre Company.
Yes. I've done things for other
theatre.
I think Cheeky. I've done some things for Cheeky Productions before.
Oh yes, yeah.
There was a friend of ours, Mike and Maria. They had a very small murder mystery company that would do events. So I was doing a bit of that. I've done princess parties. Kind of dabbled. So,
you have, yes.
Well, it's not just on this stage, but mostly.
But you've managed to continue having that joy of acting in many different places. So did this start let's go back to the beginning for you then. Did this start at a very young age, finding acting?
I was trying to think about this earlier because I thought you might ask me
Where did this start?
Where did it begin?
And you're like, I had no idea.
I didn't have an idea. And I was thinking,
really?
Geez. But then I thought to myself, I went to a C of E school, so we sung hymns quite a lot, as many schools did.
Yeah.
But we had an affiliation with Passmore's School, and I think, looking back, I can't remember how regular it was, but we were definitely
Passmore's is where I went to school.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So then you might be able to fill in this gap in my memory then.
Okay, so where did you go when you say?
St James?
Where, is that Epping?
St James Primary? No. It's near like Bearcroft Way. It's like
okay.
Out the back of Harlow. But we would sort of rehearse for productions, mostly singing, kind of like chorusy, I don't know what you call it, choir-esque things.
Right, yes, yeah.
But they did like big things at Passmore's.
Yes.
And I remember doing like Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. It wasn't the musical, but I think it was a few schools maybe.
Yeah. Passmore's was seen as a music school.
Right.
It was, so back in the 90s, they kind of, I don't know how it officially worked, but schools kind of had a thing. So one school in the town would be the sports school, another school would be the music one, another one would be the science one. Right. Like that would be their focus.
Do they still do that?
I don't think so.
Oh,
no, I don't think it works like that anymore. But I may be wrong, but it didn't at either of my kids' schools. So no, I don't think it does. But yeah, Passmore's was seen as the music school of the town. Right. Yeah. Because I was part of the choir.
Were you?
Yes, I was a choir boy at the school.
Actual cool,
like singing, and I hated it. I absolutely
didn't spark the joy.
No, it did not. That's not where I found it at all. But yeah, you found it you found this like at school performing.
Yeah, performing was just something we always did. It wasn't really a choice. I mean, we did nativities and things, and I was thinking. Do you remember that? Oh, I was thinking about it this morning. Do you remember in Love Actually where she's like, "I'm the lobster," And she was like, I don't remember there being a lobster at the birth of baby Jesus.
Yes,
She was like, no, I'm first lobster.
Yes, yeah.
Me and my sister were, she was Rainbow Queen and I was Rainbow Princess or something. And I don't know how this fitted into the nativity story whatsoever, but we argued on stage and I think my mum was mostly quite embarrassed.
Probably just like had her head down.
Yeah, pretty much. And speaking of Passmore's, actually, and being our true selves, is I got uncomfortable at Passmore's once when I was performing, and my mum will never let me forget that I adjusted my underwear in full view of everyone at Passmore's, like during a performance. Like,
brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I've just not been shy, just being my true self. I think I'm uncomfortable. I'm just gonna
just do it. I'm on the stage. No,
who's looking at me? No one.
Yeah,
my mum. My mum was.
And that's what sparked this joy.
It sparked joy, instant joy. I was like,
you know like, what? I can fiddle with my underwear on stage.
I can just be this person and no one cares.
Yeah.
No, but I think there was. I can't remember if it was year 5 or year 6, but they decided to do like a panto-y performance of Cinderella. And I came home to my mum and I was like, oh, I really, really want to. And she said, well, just ask. And I said, well, this other girl I think is going to get it because, you know, she's got a costume that is being lent to the school and I think she's going to get it. And she said, Lisa, you don't ask, you don't get. So literally we sat there and this teacher said, well, you know, before we start giving out parts, who does anyone want to be Cinderella? And I was the only one that put my hand up. And she said, yep, okay, cool, you're Cinderella. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I had my first big part and I absolutely loved it. Right. So then when I went into secondary, you know, doing drama, being part of the drama club, and
you'd already felt the benefits and you'd already felt the joy from it.
Yeah, I think mostly there were some, you know, cheeky lines in it. I think mostly making people laugh. I was always good at the serious stuff. But yeah, definitely being able to make people laugh.
So was you quite brave then, would you say?
No.
No?
No.
So how did you find the making people laugh then? How did you find the...
Just through the text, you know, just pretending to be someone who can make people laugh.
You found it through the pretending and through the play.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And that's just kind of grown over time. And I think I've definitely brought that... I like that on stage. I've brought that into my personality. Making people laugh just is something I really, really enjoy. Comedy, I think, really speaks to people. So...
Yeah. Like the part that you played that really springs to my mind that I always sort of, that was a big part that you did was the Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah. Oh,
that
I
you
loved that.
you was fabulous in that and you were hilarious and
thank you.
When it was you'd managed to find this really nice place of doing the character that we all know and love on TV, but taking a slight spin on it of yourself where you wasn't just doing an impersonation.
Oh, okay, that's interesting because I'm an out and out parrot. Like,
right, yeah.
If I'm in front of anyone with an accent, I can't. It just comes out. It's really
no, but there was
terrible.
an element. There was that funny side of Lisa there as well.
Right. Yeah.
There was that because an impersonation, I think, with a production like that, can go quite wrong.
Well,
because then you
don't know it, and you can get it really wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that character,
Alice,
was always someone that I'd done a good impression of.
Right. Okay. So you was very familiar with it, and
yeah, we watched it when we were little. My mum always used to watch that sort of type of show, like the what I would call the traditional British comedies. You know, Two Ronnies, you know, Morecambe and Wise, Keeping Up Appearances, One Foot in the Grave, Dinner Ladies, all of that. British comedy really, I don't know, just it sings to me. Maybe it is because of my childhood, I don't know. But I remember in school there was we did this thing called like a balloon race, a hot air balloon race or something, and you had to kind of convince people why you wouldn't be thrown out of the basket, you know, right. Who could stay in the balloon the longest. And as Alice, I won. I stayed in because everyone just thought it was really, really funny, and everyone, you know, back in the 90s, everyone loved Vicar of Dibley. So it was something I was always really, really comfortable with. And again, like that was one of the productions I remember distinctly as kind of just being so joyful. We just laughed the whole time in rehearsals. We were very silly. Like, I'm surprised we actually got on stage, to be honest, because, you know, we were just mucking about half the time.
What does that mean to you to have a group of people that you get on with like that in that production?
Oh, everything. There's little point. I mean, you're not doing it for very long. Between 8 to 10 weeks, say, like when you rehearse something, if that, you're not doing it for that long. But by God, if you're spending, however many hours doing something like that, the text has to bring you joy, like the thing you're doing, but being with the people as well. You have to really enjoy it. Yeah. Like it's one of I've enjoyed everything I've been a part of, but it really sticks out as kind of, I miss that production and those people.
Yes, yeah. There's some productions where everyone just clicks.
I know.
For me, Rapunzel was one of those as well.
Really?
Where you was Rapunzel.
Oh my God, I was. Yeah. No, that was really good fun.
That was a clicking one for me, where I felt like I got a good group of friends. Like everyone kind of gelled quite nicely.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people that we know who I'm thinking about.
I'm not saying anything.
They were
all wonderful temporary colleagues.
Yeah, but that happens within community theatre as well sometimes. So not necessarily talking about Rapunzel, but like sometimes when you're doing these productions, you get some interesting characters, don't you?
You do.
Along the way that you might not click with. But for me, Rapunzel was one where I felt like the click worked quite well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a show that absolutely terrified me in so many ways.
Taught me that was huge for directing for me. Like I made so many mistakes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. I thought it was a great production.
Yeah, but it's okay. So the production, it's when it comes to directing. I always thought it was just about the creativity and about the vision. What I learnt on that show was the management of people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And things like that I knew, for instance, that you were nervous with the singing. I think you even said to me at the beginning, please don't make me do this. Please don't. Please. If I go back, I remember I invited you round to my house one night, didn't I? And I was like, can you please do this part? And you're like, I'm not sure. And I was like, easing you into it. And then all of a sudden you said yes. And then I was like, oh, and there's all these songs.
Yeah.
And I think I did, looking back, I think I kind of threw that on you, which wasn't fair to do that. Would you say that?
I mean, I don't think you threw it. You were very upfront about.
Do you think so?
What it required. But it was a challenge.
Because I knew you as a strong performer, and I wanted someone very strong in that role. You looked right for the role as well, and you had the comedy.
You told me about some of your auditions.
Yeah, and I'd done auditions beforehand where I had lots of people come in for it. And because I'd already had this idea that Lisa would be Rapunzel, no one was performing it like you would.
Oh, no.
So it was like, right, I really need to get Lisa to do this.
And then I opened my mouth to sing and you were like, oh no. Oh dear.
No, I don't think you sung well. But as a director, I don't think I prepped and supported you well enough.
I tried my hardest because I know it's a weakness for me in terms of kind of confidence, surprise, but also ability and technique. It's never been an instrument that I've kind of honed. Mm-hmm. So I did take, like outside of the theatre classes and try to prep as much as I can. But yeah, I maybe needed a little bit more time. I didn't give myself enough.
Yeah, no. I take that on me. Like I say about I didn't give you the prep and all the things that you may have needed within the rehearsal space. That's what I learnt from it, and not just you, but managing other people as well.
Maybe.
So as a director, that was the show that kind of went. This is not just about the vision. This is not just about how it all looks and about how the actors are acting and the sound and etc. It's also about the people.
But to your credit, to be honest, I mean, we did out in the foyer after the show, we had like a little Rapunzel meet and greet.
Yes.
And regardless of what the parents thought, my friends, family, in that moment, the young audience, they didn't care. They couldn't have cared less what came out of my mouth. It was the vision that brought them in and took them on a little journey, and they were just... the whole thing.
Oh, it was magical.
Oh, it was magical and such a it was unusual for me. And almost, we did some stuff in the town centre, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Promotion.
So then, after the show, walking around the town centre, I was like, why don't the children
the children follow me?
They don't love me anymore. Like, they just look at you with such like, oh my God, you're Rapunzel, and you're like, yeah, I am. That's me.
So is that what led you on to do the princess parties then, or had you done that before?
I had done it already before.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, like I think someone had just messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm short of a person."
Yeah.
So I went and did it. And on that front, it is really magical and wonderful. Mm-hmm. But my goodness, I mean, the setup, it was a wonderful setup for those who went. But there was lunch, there were party dances, there were photo opportunities, and they squeezed kind of I think it was either 2.5 or 3 hour sessions in a day with a very small break for the performers in between. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, talk about, hard work, trying to bring that energy and that kind of, you can't let it falter. How they do it in places like Disney, it's just, I really feel for them.
What did you take from that, doing that?
What I took from it is that, again, doing that performing piece for money full time, it is hard work. But then I think you also get so much out of it in how you've made that little person's day.
Yes,
they got to meet Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella, or Cinderella said this to me and she liked my dress, or whatever it may be. I'll walk away and I'll forget those conversations, but those children, they remember stuff like that.
Yes,
they'll repeat it back to you. They'll be like, "Mummy, do you remember when?" And I don't know. I think that's just really special. Much like any other audience you have, they take something away from it.
But when you're interacting with those children one-on-one,
Yeah.
in that very close space, like the birthday parties, and you're performing as that character there, and you can see that they believe, because they do, don't they? When you're at the parties, they believe.
There's no question. That's never in doubt. They don't say, "Oh, is your hair real?" They're like, what's it like? Where are the animals? Where's Prince such and such?
Yes,
if I'm performing as Rapunzel at a birthday party, where's Pascal? Because I remember things like that from the movies. It means something to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did Spider-Man for quite a while, like birthday parties, doing Spider-Man, Iron Man, Batman, all those kind of like superhero characters. I got to a point where I went, I'm too old for this. Like my knees,
the acrobats.
My knees cannot. I think it was about. I think I did it between like on and off as like a side hustle kind of thing from like 30 to 35, and 5 years of it, and then I was like, yeah, my knees are just not cut out for this, and my back But I got a huge amount of experience out of it, in the sense that it took me back to a place of play that I'd kind of forgotten about. I started to get quite serious with all my acting and performing and directing as well, and I'd forgotten about the play. But doing the birthday parties, interacting with the children and having to be spontaneous, took me back to this playfulness.
Yeah.
The kids reminded me what the playfulness is all.
Yeah.
You're
not given a script in that moment,
no.
are you? You are that person, and you just have to live and breathe it, and you don't know what they're going to ask you.
No, so when you're Rapunzel and they say, "Where's Pascal?" And you have to answer it there and then.
Oh, that's a hide and seek game right there. No, I don't know. Where is he? Yeah. Let's go find him.
Yeah. Or what did you have for breakfast?
Yeah.
And you have to think as Rapunzel, what did Rapunzel have for breakfast? Or or the most random. Yeah, you get the most random questions from the children, and you have to just deliver there and then, or you risk breaking the magic.
Yeah.
Which you'll never do.
No.
Will you?
No, definitely not. But I think there are some acting. There are situations or texts in acting, or amateur theatre, which feeds into that. You talk about play, and it's something I did last year, Hounds of the Baskervilles.
Yes.
I felt very much like it was play all the time. It was a completely different style of theatre to anything I'd done previously, and it probably wasn't until after the show came down that we really understood it was sort of having freedom within parameters, so to speak. So understanding those playful freedoms, we're like, oh dang it, like we could have done more of that, and really played into it.
But you can do in your next play. in the next production?
It really broke the rules for me.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like little bits of improv, talking to the audience, little looks, or play fighting, like clown theatre. A style of theatre that I'd never explored before, but give me something like that again and I will audition for it every single time.
Really?
Yeah.
It also depends on what director you have.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
there are directors that don't want the actors to play.
No.
They want to play with you as the actor.
You're the doll.
You're the doll. I want to sculpt you. I know I've got this vision, and you need to become that vision. Whereas you get another director, like the director that did that one, that's very much open to play and exploration.
That's true, yeah.
So you don't always get the choice as an actor, do you?
Maybe not, no. But I'm lucky in that I have the choice in terms of the things that I get to be a part of.
Exactly. So if it doesn't feel right for you, you say no.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Next time.
Yeah, I'm too busy.
But I am busy, just to be clear. If I've ever said I'm busy to somebody,
then you are genuinely busy. It's not because they're the wrong director.
No.
Or they haven't begged you enough like I did.
Yeah, just come knocking on my door.
Like, please do it.
This, please.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So then you also did the murder mysteries.
Yes.
Now,
Again.
was that very similar to the princess parties?
Yeah, but with grown-ups.
Right,
so
okay.
That's hard. That's really tough.
Yeah.
Because there's no fooling an adult,
No,
really.
no.
And it, depending on how much, how do I say this politely, how much wine they'd had at the dinner. They were the people who were really into it and really trying to quiz you. Because I don't know if you ever knew the setup.
I did it once.
Oh, okay,
and
great.
When I did it, that was prior to doing the kids' birthday parties.
So
I was in a place of, I want everything to be very structured. I want everything to have a format, and I want everything to be serious and thought through. And when I did it, I was very, very much out of my comfort zone and came away like, never again. Like, never again.
Oh, really?
Never again do I want to be sat on a table with a group of strangers and try and have conversation within this character with these strangers. Never again. However, now, after I've done the kids' parties and found the play, if I was to do that tomorrow, I'd be quite happy to do that tomorrow now.
Really? So it's the kids' parties that have maybe
The
changed
kids, the kids' parties, hugely changed.
That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Changed the thought process.
Whereas I think I've done it the other way around. And I still agree with you. I think kids' parties it's so much joy. I absolutely love that more than the grown-ups.
And I guess normal grown-ups, because we're not normal grown-ups, but normal grown-ups, the ones that are out there in the world, they're not open to play either. So you're in that environment where they're doing this murder mystery thing, and a lot of them are probably quite guarded.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
You just don't.
No.
You
don't. Okay.
You just can't.
Yeah.
I think. There were. I mean, you're in a big table of what, like 8 to 10, maybe. So you'll always get the real keen beans, the one who, like, they've played Cluedo as a child, so they really they're like, I'm loving this.
Yes,
you'll always get the one that's clearly been dragged, against their will. Don't want to do any of this. And then there are the people who are just kind of getting drunk and asking silly questions or doing really silly and outlandish things. It's just, I think you just got to respond to it as it comes up. You can't plan for it. You just don't know. But really fun to do. And I think if ever I was in a tough spot, I would just say, I just need to go and take this phone call and just kind of step away from the table and then come back. And but that would create more intrigue. What were you doing? Who are you messaging?
Yes,
were you talking to that person? And
Whereas really that was really a moment for you to
just
reorganise
have a break and just give my brain a little time to have a breather. Yeah.
Because it is exhausting, isn't it, as well? It's that performance side of your brain when you're working like that. This has taken me to another sort of side hustle gig that I've done over the years as an actor, Father Christmas. So that's another thing that is very much, you have to think on the spot, you have to be very quick. And it's actually quite interesting. As Father Christmas, you'd be in a chair like this and you would do a 5-minute performance interacting with a child or a group of children. But at the end of that 5 minutes, you would be exhausted. Like you'd be like, oh my God. But then you'd go again, like the next family come in and you'd go again. And then at the end of the day, you do a 6-7 hour shift and you you'd be floored at the end of it.
Yeah. And I think it's probably not as bad with adults, but certainly with children, they're relentless in the nicest possible way. They want to know so much. They want to be with you. They want to talk to you. So I guess as Father Christmas, I know it's like one after the other, but yeah, you're just constantly trying to think on your feet and be inventive and make that moment so special for them as well. Adults just,
Adults are difficult. But sorry. Hold on, got a cough.
No.
Like I said earlier, I'm on the ends of this cold.
Yeah.
I've been doing quite well to push through it without sniffing.
But no snot,
no snot,
no phlegm.
Yeah, I've got the tissues down there just in case,
but
and a bucket. Yeah,
that's not for the roof, is it?
No, that's for me.
That's you just to hack into every once in a while.
But I've been doing well to. It's funny when I'm doing this as well. When I've been doing the podcasts, I kind of get into a place of like flow state, a little bit like those performances where you are just you're just on and you're just in the zone, in the moment. And things like that, like Dr. Theatre comes in.
Yeah.
Dr. Theatre comes in and puts those, if you've got a cold, it puts it to one side.
It's weird, isn't it?
For that period of time.
It's just autopilot. I remember on Tuesday, I'm rehearsing for the HTC Fringe Festival that's coming up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just a one-act play. I say just a one-act play, sorry. So it's quite short, which is quite nice. But I had a really terrible day at work. I was in London. I'm up at 5:45. I don't really get home or off the train until like sort of 6:30, 6:45 at night. Threw some food down my gullet, and I was running late anyway, so kind of got to the rehearsal space at sort of 7:45, feeling miserable, absolutely like don't want to be here, don't want to do this, kind of want to just trash it all in, to be quite honest with you, in the nicest possible way. And it's a good piece, and it's like, it's a good group to be doing it with. But within an hour and a half, I was a different person completely, because we'd just been laughing and in the text and being that other, Lisa gets switched off for a little while, and I'm Margot for however long, and trying to bring out her kind of contribution to the piece. So yeah, Dr. Theatre. I mean, you talk about Rapunzel. How ill were we all that winter? Do you remember? Maybe you don't remember.
Yeah, I do. I do remember. Just as we was creeping up to it, the colds and the flus were really. It was like I remember bringing in oranges and being to everyone, "Please, just eat oranges. Just get the vitamin C." And,
yeah, literally, just take all the meds.
And that was in a world before we really worried about colds like we do now. Before we considered like COVID and things like that. It was we just did. Yeah,
we spread it around. Yeah, we were just like, well, we're here.
We're here.
If you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. But we continued through the show, and Dr. Theatre kicks in.
Absolutely.
But I think there's definitely a mental health benefit to doing this as well, to doing theatre.
Maybe.
But like you say, that you had this really tough day.
Yeah.
But you went out there and you got involved with this group of people and you did this thing and you felt good through doing it.
I find it good, to be honest, and I think that kind of plays into that kind of being someone else for a little while kind of piece. I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think everyone would benefit in some way.
No.
But yeah, I agree that kind of doing those things that maybe are either outside of your comfort zone, or I don't know, just take your mind off of the thing that has, I don't know, made you feel a bit shitty, for want of a better word. Like exercise, I think there's a huge mental health benefit in exercise, and just going out for a run, or doing something that you can't think of anything else other than not dying for that hour or whatever it may be that you're doing. Just completely get out of yourself. Yeah. And then you come back and you think, oh, okay, yeah.
So how's the fitness stuff going? Because obviously, have we mentioned on here that we've had your husband on the podcast?
No, but yeah.
He was on one of the he was one of the there's a couple of people early on that like were really brave with me, and when I put a little message out there, who's brave enough to get involved, and your husband Sean, he was just like straight away like, yeah, I'll do it. Where are we gonna meet? In my shed? Like in my man's shed, and we just sat down and had a conversation, and
he's a great conversationalist. He can carry a conversation. I'm terrible. I feel really awkward, and I hate awkward silences as well, so I'll just drivel on. But he's just, you can chat to him about anything, and he'll talk. Even if he doesn't know anything, he'll just chat. I'm fascinated by that. But yeah, no, he has.
Well, I
been
hope that, you know, this might be something that you could look back on little bits of it and see that you're not a bad conversationist.
Maybe.
That you're actually holding together a really good conversation here, and really, like, you're bringing out some really interesting things. Maybe we can all be a bit critical of ourselves at time.
Absolutely.
Overcritical.
And I think if you ask any performer, the one thing that they would probably all agree with is they hate the sound of their own voice.
Yes.
So when we kind of like think about recordings and things like that, you know, we record a lot of our shows and whatnot. I do not want to watch any of them back.
Yeah. No, that's something though that if you watch a show back, it's never the same. Because you lose something in the translation of the theatre to the film. There's that live element, that there's a vibe in the air that you don't capture on film.
Yeah.
And you can only capture it on film if you use special like techniques like multi-cameras and different type of lighting.
Yeah.
So when you've got a theatre thing and you just put one camera there that's still, or even sometimes if you try and do it like 3 cameras, it's still not enough.
And it's quite hard in here in the nicest of ways. You know, you're doing it from the back generally.
Yes,
so you lose a lot of that facial expression and some of those bits and pieces that really kind of add to a piece of theatre. I mean, we did watch back Hounds. We had like a little viewing.
Yes,
and obviously it was a 3-hander. So yes, I was on stage quite a lot, but there were moments where I wasn't, and it was really nice just to see what happened when I wasn't on stage.
Yes,
you know,
it's nice for those moments.
I agree.
But for watching yourself back, the cringe.
Oh, so cringy.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I don't think I focused as much on that as I did like the lighting and the sound. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know it looked like that. That, you know, I'm really just kind of ignoring myself.
Yeah.
Blacking it out. But yeah, it's good.
It's funny with saying about the cringe as well. Someone said to me recently that within the cringe, that's where you can, if you lean into that, that's where you can find your true self. That it's there, that if you can find an acceptance, that I don't know how we do it, because I cringe at everything I do.
Okay.
But if we can push forward, then we find some.
So let me rephrase that, and I agree with what you're saying, but I always say to people, the magic happens outside of your comfort zone. 100%.
Yes, that's kind of what you're trying to get
no,
at.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when we did Rapunzel, singing was outside of my comfort zone. Absolutely not. But I did it anyway. When we did Hounds, you know, that kind of play piece out of my comfort zone. Never done that before. Did it anyway. Do a lot of things like that. We talked about fitness just slightly. What I do now for fitness, I would never have done that, you know, X amount of years ago. But I thought, no, I'm going to do it. Even if I'm at the back of the class, I'm the slowest, I'm the most rubbish. It doesn't matter. I'm there. So I think people really need to push their own boundaries, because they'll actually find something that is quite magical. So just do it anyway, even if you're bad at it. I follow a page called The Hags Have a Go. Just whatever it is, just have a go. You might not like it, but if you do, great. What have you found? Like,
for me, the podcast is that.
There you go.
For me, this isn't my comfort zone at all.
Okay.
This is not. I do want structure. I do want to have a part that I can play and pretend to be someone else. But I have got so much personally from doing this that I don't want this to stop.
Good.
I don't want this journey to end anytime soon. It doesn't look like it will. It looks like doors are opening and things are moving forward, and lots of unexpected things are happening.
Good.
But a year ago, I would never have thought I'd be doing something like this.
Right. Yeah.
And I would, if anyone had asked me to be part of something like this, I'd have been like, what the hell have I got to say? Like, yeah, and like, what the hell have I got? What the hell have I got to say? Like now, what the hell do I know? Like,
but you jumped in.
But I jumped in, and life has changed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there is beauty outside of the comfort zone.
100%. We started this conversation about work. As I said to you, sitting in a boardroom with CEOs talking about things that I don't always understand. That's outside my comfort zone. I'm not that person, but I pretend to be. And I've just made a career out of it. So cool. Awesome. There you are.
And outside of the comfort zone, the fitness thing that you do?
Yeah.
So this is the CrossFit?
I do CrossFit, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite hardcore.
I hate saying that because it sounds a bit culty. Like, I think there's a real connotation with CrossFit in the community.
Oh, really? Is there?
Yeah, there is. That, we're fitness wankers and, we do some crazy things. And I think some people, they kind of talk about technique and ways of doing things that, aren't, good for you. But had you said to me 2 years ago, Lisa, you're going to really enjoy weightlifting and you're going to care about the kind of weight that you can lift, I would have laughed at you. I really genuinely would. But just coming out of lockdown in early 2021, I was running through a lot of lockdown. I've always liked running. I've never been particularly good at it, but again, have a go. But it really kind of gave me headspace to think, and I kind of got some of my really best ideas while I was out running, cleared my head. But the more that time went on, very weirdly, I kind of got this is going to sound a bit mad, a voice. And it's quite disparaging. You're not fast enough. Your technique's not good. You're only going to feel crap tomorrow. And when I, didn't run fast enough or far enough or, wanted to stop, as an example, the next day I'd be like, oh, well, that was really shit. Like, just really got down on myself about it. And I couldn't get rid of it. And
do you know why?
No. And even to this day, sometimes when I run, that little voice comes back. I don't know why. It's very odd. But yeah, we'll just park that.
I wouldn't say it's odd because I have a similar voice.
Yeah.
A similar voice that comes in at times that it's almost like a shameful voice of like, why aren't you doing this better? Why aren't you doing that better?
Do you ever watch Big Mouth? Have you ever seen that?
No. On Netflix, isn't it?
You should. Yeah. I think they have characters. It's an animated TV series about teenagers going through puberty, but they have characters like the shame. This is going to sound bizarre. The shame wizard. Obviously, it's only someone that character can see, but it's talking to them shamefully.
Yes,
I don't know what was. There's all sorts of really weird and wonderful characters, but they're all those voices that you have inside your head about shame, about, anxiety or maybe even depression, but it's kind of adding a humour element to A, say that this is completely normal, and B, you're not alone.
Right.
So I highly recommend that.
Yes, yeah. No, I will look into that. Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. Yeah, very good. Very vulgar, but very good. So yeah, early 2021, my friend Louise has always been very athletic. She's cross-country runner, always very sporty in school. That is just not me whatsoever, not competitive. I was the drama geek. But she's done CrossFit for quite some time, and I've always thought she was a little bit mad. But her gym, the box as we call it, they were doing a buy 1 month, get another month free. And I thought, well, I've got 2 months to decide. If I absolutely hate it, I don't have to go back. You can cancel any time. I still can now. It's quite easy breezy. You're not like tied in like with normal gyms. And that's it. I was hooked, completely hooked. And I'm not very good. I don't lift very heavy in comparison to everyone else. I'm generally the slowest or at the back of the gym, doing my own thing. But I'm doing my own thing with everyone else that's doing their own thing. There might be someone in there who's back squatting like 200 kg. There's me with like, I don't know, 60 or whatever it is on my back, kind of really struggling. So, but it's all relative. Their hard is just a different kind of my hard,
So what is it that makes it different from doing the run on yourself to being part of this group?
I think you're in a community of people. Like I say, you're all doing the same thing, just at different kind of competencies or levels. And if you are maybe pairing up, sometimes it's like a pairs workout. So you have the workout and you break it down as like a two. However you break it down is completely up to you. But I've got Sean who comes, but sometimes if he's not there, I have to partner with people I don't know very well. So I think you're building, it's like making adult friends. Can we just touch on this?
Yeah,
making adult
course.
friends is really hard, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Like, you just don't do it anymore. Yeah. So, like, you don't go to the pub. You don't go, clubbing? Where's clubbing gone?
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? That's something I don't mind. I never enjoyed clubbing anyway.
Maybe not.
That was never something that was for me that I did because I thought you had to do it.
Right, okay.
Or like because everyone else was doing it,
Maybe.
but I didn't enjoy it for me. If I look back, I'm like, that wasn't my thing.
But I always find if I go out in Harlow...
you could make friends when you were younger.
you bump into someone you knew and they had a group of friends and you get chatting to people.
Yeah.
There's a real social element of life at the minute. It's just kind of missing.
Yes,
But here I am at the age of, I was 34 3, making adult friends, you know, pairing up with people, and everyone is so encouraging. No matter, you know, you're going to a gym and you think, oh my God, people are looking at me. Like, I don't know, as a woman, especially, you go to the weight section and they're like, oh my God, what is she doing here? Like, she's got chicken arms. Now I would go into a commercial gym and I feel like I would have a lot more confidence with it, because I know what I'm doing, and I know I'm doing it, you know, with the right form and everything. But in terms of the CrossFit community, and I know Sean touched on this when you spoke to him, it's just so encouraging, and like, you know, you're getting your endorphins, working as hard as you possibly can, and you just feel it's a different kind of achievement. You kind of come out of it, whether it's you've done, I don't know, 1 that week or 5 or whatever it may be, you always walk away with something. That sounds really strange of a workout, but just sometimes the fact that you made it through the workout, or maybe you did a heavier lift that day, or you worked on a technique that you haven't, because there's all sorts of, you know, it's a combination of weightlifting, gymnastics and cardio, all of which I mean, I'm sort of semi-okay with cardio, but it's not running, it's a ski erg and, you know, an assault bike, which by its very name is an assault on your body. I can quite honestly promise you.
What is an assault? Is it that the one where you go like, yeah.
But it's tough, because have you ever done, like, we call it calories on an assault bike?
No.
Next time you're in a gym, go and do...
Do you know what? In the gym that I go to, there is an assault bike there. There's a couple of them. But do you know what? Out of all the things in the gym, that's the thing that I've sat on once, sat on there for about 2 minutes and gone, I have no idea what I'm doing. I look like an idiot. I'm going to not use this again.
Next time you go, go and do between 10 and 50 calories as fast as you possibly can. And tell me how you feel afterwards, please. Okay. Because it's awful.
I think I might need to look at a YouTube video of how to use the thing.
Maybe.
When you say like calories.
It's not the thing with the feet. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, it's like
a bike.
Yeah, like a bike, yeah?
Yeah.
But with your arms as well.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Just try it. Just do like 10 or 15 calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awful. It's all awful. This is the hilarious thing about CrossFit is you look at a workout and you think, oh, that's going to be horrific. But you go and you do it anyway. And afterwards you're like, oh, actually, I feel amazing because I've just done X, Y, and Z. So
again, we're going back to that, moving outside of your comfort zone.
Oh yeah.
Doing things that stretch us is putting you in a place, is putting you in a better place, and it quietens down that negative voice as well when you're stretched.
Someone at work calls that voice in their head the chimp, and they'll come to me and they'll
monkey
say,
mind.
Yeah, they'll say the chimp is winning today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely shuts that up because in that workout, and it can be quite intense because generally you're going as fast as you possibly can, no matter what you're doing, unless you're maybe doing something for a weight like a 1 rep max as an example, or whatever it may be. You're just going all out, so you do not have the time or the capacity to look at what anyone else is doing. I couldn't care less what anyone else is doing because I'm just trying not to die. But I'm just giving it my absolute all. You can't think about work. You can't think about anything. You are just in your own little bubble. It's really strange. And I keep trying to tell my mum to come. Now, my mum is a woman of a certain age and a certain body type, and she just feels like it's just not for her. But I will say to her, what I'll tell you and I'll tell anybody, it is for everybody. Trust me when I say that. So what benefit would your mum get from it? So there was a study done recently. I actually bought her a book. She was listening to Chris Evans, and there was a study done to say that the best exercise anyone can do to prolong their life is weightlifting in any guise. So whether that's weights fast, like a HIIT workout, or whether it's for strength. But I think for, when you do start to age, there are people in their 90s who do CrossFit. I just want to say that. And that blows my mind. But if you were to find yourself alone or be living by yourself, you need to know that you can get yourself back up. Even, no matter what happens to you, you need to get back up again. And I think there's just something so empowering by kind of saying no matter what age, no matter what build or whoever you are, that you can lift a certain weight or, do something that, I don't know, people don't expect you to do. People will look at me and they find it quite odd that I do that. And they quite like to grab me, grab my body, because I've kind of got like trap muscles, which I have muscles that I just never had before. But people physically like to, oh my God. And I'm not even really that built. Although Sean is very upset that I have bigger quads than him.
Do you?
I'm just going to say that on this podcast because that would really upset him.
Is that what he's working on?
He's quite upset. I sometimes send it, like yesterday I sent him a little workout. I was like, here you go, babe. And he was like, you did what? So, little friendly
It's nice.
competition.
It's nice that you can have that within your relationship as well.
Yeah.
That you've got that thing that you can do together. Because Sean's not an actor, is
No.
he? So you haven't got that thing together.
No.
But you've got the sport and the fitness together, and that's quite a nice thing to
Sometimes
to
we
have.
pair up, sometimes we don't. Like he'll go with someone else, or I'll go with someone else, and we'll meet up at the end. How did you get on? Like, what time did you do? What weight did you do? Did you do PB today? And you know, if you're having a really shit day at work, you can always go to the gym and find something that you like. Actually, I'm proud of myself today, for whatever it is, whether you just got through it or didn't die.
That's a really important thing to have.
Yeah,
in your life.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just another string to the bow on top of work and theatre.
Yes.
You know, doing it all, having it all.
No, but it's nice to have all these balances and different things in your life rather than just. I know people that just have work. And there's not really enough to just have work.
Well, it depends who you are. If it is enough for you, great. You know, work can be all encompassing. And I know people who, you know, they travel for work, so they'll be, you know, in their place of work 5 days.
Would you say it's enough for you?
It can be at times. Just, and when I say enough, it's almost like too much. So sometimes you just, you know, I'm quite an emotive person. I'm kind of empathetic in that way. So I'll just wear it. And I think sometimes I need to take it off and just do something else for a little while. Working from home helps with that, I think, as well. But it's not enough. I need something else. And sometimes I get a bit, especially more recently, because I think I haven't been as involved in theatre as I would like to be. For COVID being one of the main reasons in the last few years. But I definitely feel more. I only want to be a part of what sort of brings me joy. It has to be the right thing. If I am going to spend that amount of time, like we were saying earlier, it has to be with the right people, the right text. And one thing I'm noticing more and more is the parts for women specifically are quite. They're always they are there, but I think the quality, you know, speaking the female voice and it's something that's really lacking for me, and it's something I want to go and find. I think next year, whether it's in acting it or directing it, maybe. I think I want to find that little pocket or find more of it, because I think it can be really surface level sometimes.
Yes, yeah. And that can be an issue with community theatre, is that the variety of productions that are put on can often be not that exciting or not what necessarily you're interested in being involved with. So like you say, you want some good female parts. Community theatre doesn't always go in that direction.
No.
Do they?
And the thing is, you know, it has to be what the audience. You need an audience.
Exactly.
So if you don't have an audience, there's really no point in doing it. So you have to get those crowd pleasers in for sure. But I think, you know, when we talk about sort of female-led productions, as an example, I think a lot of people would know what Fleabag is. So if you put on a Fleabag, you might get the audience, you might not. But that would be a very different audience to, say, like Grease, as an example, which would be like a complete. Everyone would come and see Grease, no matter what. Maybe not, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But
there are definitely bums on seats productions for community theatre and ones that are a bit more risky.
For sure.
And I would say that the one you're doing next, the One Act Play Festival, that tends to be a bit difficult to get people to come and see.
Sure.
Because they're coming to see something that they don't necessarily know. So you're generally going to get supporters come to that, like friends, family.
Yeah.
They're the people that are going to come and see the One Act Play Festival, or people, dedicated theatre people. But general public won't necessarily come to a One Act Play Festival in a local community place.
No, you're right. Which I think is a shame as well, because really it's 4 shows in one.
Yes.
You know, bargain. You're getting like more than what you would normally get.
Yeah, because you could go and see one bad show.
Yeah.
Or you could see one bad
4
show.
Bad shows.
Yeah, four bad shows. What I was going to say was that one of the shows in the 4 could be bad and the other 3 could be good. Or all four could
terrible.
be bad.
Or it could really kind of demonstrate to you, actually, there is a really strong, and I think it's strong, local theatre buzz come and see more. This might not have been your cup of tea, any one of these 4, but it's kind of given you a flavour of what people are capable of on a local level. It doesn't have to be the Harlow Playhouse. It can be, of course. That's really nice. But not a lot of people know that this sometimes exists. I certainly didn't for a really long time. So yeah, like we should kind of offer that out a little bit more if we can. But it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. So like a place like this place is just run by the community. It's a charity venue that doesn't have any funding or backing to get that word out. If you think of somewhere like the Playhouse that's established within the town centre itself, a lot of people can physically see it. And then if they don't physically see it, the Playhouse can afford to spend £10,000 a year on marketing.
Yeah.
Whereas this place doesn't have that 10,000, and it is in the corner of the town. The back corner of the old town.
Yeah.
So it's that is quite a challenge for a lot of community theatres.
Yeah.
Is to get that.
Some get that better backing than others. I think I've seen some local kind of theatres that are quite quite modern, not nice, modern. I mean, but when you think about some of the sets that we've put on this stage, and I'm not just talking about ones that you or I've been involved in, but maybe ones that we've come and seen. There's been a caravan on this stage. You built a tower. You know, when you think about what happens here, and the effort and the energy and the expertise even, you think, oh my gosh, like, you know, it just needs to be, I'm quite impassioned.
It needs to be shared.
Yeah,
it needs to be seen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's how you do that. How do you bring people in that it's not normally their cup of tea, you know?
I think that's a place where social media is actually quite good these days, that you can target specific types of people.
Yeah.
So the productions that I do here now always sell out through what I do on social media.
Amazing.
Because I can, let's say for instance earlier this year I did Jack and the Beanstalk here. I can target all the mums within a 10-mile radius, and specifically mums that have children.
Wow.
Because social media knows that information. So I'm not wasting my money on marketing to everyone that isn't relevant or to the production. I'm bringing in I'm making sure the advert is seen by the people that would buy a ticket or would consider buying a ticket.
The old leaflet drops, do you remember?
Yeah, the leaflet drops. Would I still do those as well, because those still do work. I think there's something about having that leaflet in your hand is a conversation starter. So I think that's still quite important for getting the message out.
Sure.
But yeah, the marketing is definitely something that you have to consider with every single production.
It's a tough gig though. You just feel like you're kind of beating your head against a wall sometimes. I used to do it for HTC, but not recently. This is quite a long time ago. But just being across all platforms and trying to drive that engagement, it's almost a full-time job in itself. And you're already involved in the production 9 times out of 10, you know. So yeah, it's a really difficult position to be in. But you know, how does anyone, not just HTC or you or, you know, any of the companies that utilise this space, how do we talk about it more? You know, how do we make it something? You know, it's just by continuing doing what we're doing. I guess
so, and talking about it more.
Yeah,
doing new things and having that conversation about. A lot of people don't realise that with Facebook that you can target to that extent.
No, I didn't.
You know, so rather you can just pay for an advert to go up on Facebook, but why do you want the whole town to see it? Why do you want the whole town to know that production's going on when most of them won't come anyway? So why not make sure the ones that are relevant to that production come?
No, it's true.
And get that market down. But it can be hard with a one-act play festival to do that. Yeah. Because who that's not parents that are going to buy tickets. So then you go like, who is the audience? Is it everyone? Is it older? Is it older people?
The whole town here, so I hope
so.
Can we squeeze them in?
Yeah.
Let's get them here.
So that it is a difficult game.
Yeah.
The marketing.
Definitely. But if we don't do it though, Martin, like I think, you know, community theatre will disappear.
Yes,
and that would be such a shame. Not just for people like you and I, or creatives. You know, I know you've spoken to Izzy. Look at what Izzy's bringing to the community.
Yeah.
Like mind blowing.
Yeah.
But anyone, you know, there's a lot of creatives in this.
In different fields. And
Yeah.
and my last production that I did here was a Christmas show, Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. My mission outside of directing a good production was to build a community.
Yeah.
I ended up having 70 people involved with that production through doing different things, through reaching out to the community and getting people involved with puppet making, costume making, with getting people involved with the technical side of the production people that haven't been here before, people that do stuff in different towns, reaching out to them and saying, come down and have a chat, come and see what we do here. And a lot of those people are continuing to hang around now, which is really lovely to see as well. So I think it's important when you do a production not just to go to the same pool of people. That's very easy to do.
Oh yeah, because they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're experts.
Yeah. So when I did Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, I think some people would have liked me to ask them to be involved, but I didn't ask anyone to be involved with it. I specifically went outside of the circles, and
that's quite brave.
Yeah. But I did that early as well. I did that with time. So I had a production that went on in December. Most people would work on that September time, would start doing that 3 months early. I started in like February, March, reaching out to people. So it really was a mission to build the community. And come New Year's, at the end of the year when we had the New Year's party in this building, and it was just filled with new people.
Wow.
It was like, job done.
Amazing.
Achievement.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased to hear that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And like I say, they're sticking around now.
Wicked.
So that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
So give me a little bit of information about this, because this will probably go online about the time that you're going to be on stage.
Oh.
So maybe, excuse me.
Cheeky plug.
Coffee. Let's have a plug. Tell me about this One Act Play Festival. What are you doing in it?
So me personally, I am in I think it's going to be about 50 minutes to 45 minutes show called Hen Party. Me and 3 other ladies. I think it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's for women in their kind of, early mid-30s going on a hen do. They've not maybe seen each other, been a part of each other's lives, but they're old school friends. Maybe 4 very different women, 4 different personalities. They've kind of grown up, got their own lives, and they all go on a hen party abroad.
Comedy?
Yeah, there are some very comic moments. Yeah, for sure. I won't give away too much, but I specifically asked the director. I said, if I'm going to be part of this production, I want this character, because I just think she goes from, one type of personality to another very quickly, in a drunken state. And I just thought, that's a little bit of, again, speaks to my comedy and joy that I just really wanted to be a part of. So it's definitely a comedy, but there are some really touching moments, I think. Again, 4 women coming together, their lives have maybe all taken a slightly different route, but ultimately they are still the people that they were maybe back when they were in school, and, yeah.
Who's directing this?
Helga Kilroy. Oh my gosh, she's changed her name now, hasn't she? Dove, Helga Dove. I was so sorry. She got married last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Helga Dove. So yeah, no, it's been an interesting couple of rehearsals. We're still at the early stages, but yeah, definitely kind of exploring female conflict and personality clashes. Again, talking about that female voice.
How do you explore that?
Yeah, mostly through play. Maybe some of our some of the performers in this piece are a little bit younger, so they might not have. I'm sort of 35 now, so I'm right there. I'm married. Most of my friends are married with kids, or either or. life has kind of taken us off in slightly different directions, but we cling on in certain ways, and sometimes we do butt heads because we've kind of got different views or different lifestyles. That's just how we are. But ultimately, we're all still friends at the end of the day. And it's really funny because I recently went to Spain with a couple of friends as well at the end, sort of beginning of September, and it was like we were kind of how we were in our early 20s. You just kind of regress. It's quite funny. So yeah, this kind of speaks to me really. It's very much in the female. You all know these women. If of my age, you will have seen at least one of these women either on a hen do or in your day-to-day life. So yeah,
I'll definitely be coming to see it. And so, what are the other plays within this play festival?
I'm going to try and speak to this, but I don't know all that much about them
because you're concentrating on your play.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do your play, they do their play.
Yeah.
But for an audience member, they get to come and see all four productions. Is there a theme that's running through these? No, there's no theme.
No. So one is called A Dog's Life. Mm-hmm. Dogs in a Pound. I will say no more.
Okay. Because I think I know this. Is this the one where the humans are dogs?
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away because I think it's going to be really. I want to watch it. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think there's just so much acting opportunity. How often do you get to pretend to be a dog? And that's just really ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think in the audition they said, you're gonna walk around the room and you're gonna be different types of dog. Mm-hmm. And I think I played a pug really, really well. If I'm honest, I didn't think that was in me. But there we are. Outside your comfort zone, as we say.
Yeah.
Another one.
You want to give me a bit of that performance now?
No, absolutely not. No. You have to be in the moment.
Yes, of course.
Be thinking pug. Mm-hmm. I'm not in a pug.
Thinking
place.
pug.
Yeah, I'm not in a pug place today.
Okay.
There's one Joined by War, set in the. I want to say it's the First World War. I don't know. Obviously, didn't audition for it because it's mostly a male cast, but I think bringing those sorts of things to the stage are really important, not just from a historic point of view, but sort of perceiving the male experience as well, kind of hearing about that. I think male mental health is a really big conversation at the moment in today's society. And although that was however many years ago, I think...
it's relevant right now.
Yeah, I do. I think it is. Because, they were in a struggle for a very different reason, different situation, but still a mental health issue nonetheless, whether you're out of it or, in the moment. Mm-hmm. And then there's, I think it's called Sugar Pie, which is just a two-hander. I think a diner waitress and a truck driver who just comes in and a conversation ensues. But I've not read it, so I have absolutely zero idea about that one. So I cannot.
Sounds exciting.
I have to leave you with the intrigue.
Good, yeah, I am intrigued, and I'm very intrigued and looking forward very much to coming to see it.
So you can see there's no.
So
theme.
when is this on?
First week in November, and I cannot think of the dates. So
first week in November.
First week.
Check
in November.
It out on the website.
Wednesday to Saturday. Yeah, the HTC website. I can't think what the HTC website is now. www.htc.com.
I think it's Harlow Theatre Company.
It might be. Yeah, you're right.
Harlow Theatre
Just
Company.
Google Harlow Theatre Company and you'll find it. I guarantee it. Yeah.
Because obviously the world is going to be watching and listening to this.
Oh,
so
I hope so. Every it's going to be sold out now, surely.
Exactly. Everyone wants to see what Lisa's in after this.
Why not?
So what else is in your future?
What else?
What is there? So are you just at the moment? It's just the play, and because often that's the way with community theatre. Is I'm going to do this, and then we'll see what's next after.
Yeah.
After that, or is there anything that you're looking forward to at the moment?
I think life is a little bit like kind of one thing at a time. I kind of get into a habit of trying to take on too much at once. So I'm just trying to control that side of me. But definitely this year, it's just really occurred to me this piece around kind of finding the female voice and trying my best to kind of bring that to the fore. Pieces like Fleabag or This May Destroy You, I think that's going to be really important to me. I've watched or maybe sometimes even been a part of productions where you think, oh, just this woman, who is she? What is she? I don't want to say they're all like that, but sometimes they're a bit of a wet lettuce. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen there's a very famous Reese Witherspoon speech where she's talking about a female in a situation, and the woman turns around and says, what do I do now? What do we do now? what woman in your life turns around and says that? A woman more or less always knows what to do or thinks of the next steps. So it's really not speaking to the female voice. So I want to do a little bit of research. I've not even told my husband this, but I want to do some research because I think I want to find some pieces, or I mean, I don't even think I could write it, to be honest with you, but I want to find those pieces, whether it's one act or, maybe suggest it to a theatre company to say, no, look, I think this is a really important message to start bringing up. Because, we are very lucky, as, theatre companies are. We have women in abundance. So if there's not the parts for them that speak to them and kind of utilise that, well, then let's make them. Let's just do it.
Do you feel like you want to, if say you found this piece
Yes.
that has this voice, would you be doing something with that? Would you be open to directing it?
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
That's exactly what you want.
Either directing or performing it. I know there's a certain I've never directed before, so that would just be a massive step for me, maybe a step too far.
Why do you think that?
Well, just because I feel like I would need to do a one-act play, get some experience, that type of vibe. I think that's always been the way in theatre companies, but not to say you couldn't, but I wouldn't. I just don't think I would do it the justice that it would deserve. If or maybe, that was the piece.
What about if you found a mentor?
Sorry, excuse me. That's my yeah, no, definitely finding a mentor.
Yeah, find a mentor.
Absolutely.
Or, someone that can guide you through that initial stage.
I think we're quite lucky in the directors that I've worked with. There's been a huge amount of experience that I'm just like a watcher and learner. So I'm all it would be all too easy to kind of in rehearsals or on stage do my bit and then walk away. It's a bit like at work. I don't just do my bit and walk away. I'm always watching and listening and trying to gather as much information as I can. And specifically female directors, I think we've got quite a strong set of female directors in the theatre company too. So they're definitely people I can either learn from or mirror. But yeah, I think finding the right piece has got to be the thing that comes first. Because I might even want to be in it. I don't know. That's the thing. Is that I think that's surely as here's a question for you. That's got to be quite a difficult thing when you find something that you're so impassioned about. Like take Dracula for instance. I know you did that before, but. How would you not want to be a part of it if you hadn't already?
Well, so for me, the one that I've got so much frustration about is Hamlet.
Right. Okay.
I would have always, and I think a lot of young male actors want to play that part. It speaks to the young male actor if they know it. It speaks to that kind of age in your life where you're questioning a lot, where you're kind of in that mid-20s, early 30s kind of phase, where you're kind of going, what is the purpose of all this? And maybe finding some struggles in life, where you're told when you're young it's all going to go in one direction, but then you get to a point and you're like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And and it spoke to me, Hamlet.
But why couldn't you do that now?
Because I could never find... The problem with being an actor is you're always waiting to do someone else's production. So it's very hard to find someone that... If you go to someone and go, I want to play Hamlet, and they go, yeah, you're the person to play Hamlet because you want to do it, it's quite difficult to do that. It's also very difficult to direct yourself in a production like that. Yeah, I've directed myself on small scales, and it's near on impossible because you can't have that subjective view. You can't look at it from an outsider. And I would say whenever my biggest acting fails have always come when I've tried to direct myself. So stay clear of that. So that means for me to play Hamlet, I have to find the person that also wants me to play Hamlet. And I'm past that normal age. So I'm past that. Hamlet's supposed to be someone in their mid-20s. I'm in my late 30s. But what I'm saying is, so then now I have to find someone that wants a late 30s Hamlet if I was to play that part. I'm not giving up on it. I'm just saying that's a huge frustration. Ian McKellen recently played Hamlet.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't think age is a factor, really.
But it's hard to, as an actor, to find someone that wants to direct you
Wow.
in the thing that you want to do. That's why I turned to directing.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's why I turned to that. I could get some of those creative things out of me, and into other people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's my frustration as an actor.
If anyone's listening and wants
to put me in Hamlet,
Here he is.
I'm up for it. Yeah, it was a lockdown project as well that I was like, right, I'm definitely gonna find a way to do this, and I studied Hamlet through lockdown,
Wow.
with a hope and a purpose that I may put that on, and I think what I'm probably going to do is probably direct, so that I can get that vision out that I've got for it.
Looking for
the piece.
Hamlet?
Could be that's not a road that I necessarily thought. But again, that's the beauty of Shakespeare,
isn't it?
That you can throw it all up in the air and go, what's another thing that I can do with these words?
Yeah, I love that.
So
I've been a part of a few Shakespeare productions that I've just really enjoyed. They are such fun. I don't think any, if
didn't you do an all-female 12th Night?
Yes.
Was that right?
Yeah, we did. That was just such good fun. Another production that really sparked joy. But I think if Shakespeare is done well, a lot of people, I think, as an audience, get quite frightened because they think, I just don't understand the language. And I don't think you have to understand it. If it's well performed, you'll get the story. You'll know what's going on.
Yes, yeah.
You don't have to listen to it word for word and dissect it. And what does that mean? I think it was beaten into us in school. Really, I think maybe too much.
I think Shakespeare is taught completely wrong at school.
Yeah.
At normal secondary school level.
We dissect it.
Yeah, it's Shakespeare was never meant to be read for a start. It was only ever meant to be performed. So on that basis alone, they're teaching it wrong. You cannot sit down at a table and read a line and someone else read a line and backwards. Excuse me, I'm going to cough again. Read a line backwards and forwards. That's not how Shakespeare works.
No.
The text is meant to be performed, is meant to be said as an individual standing up.
I think I only learnt that as an adult.
Yeah, so did I.
I've done watched a few at the Globe in London, and my mind has been blown because you went line for line. What does that mean? What's he saying there? And you wrote essay over it, and it's just, oh gosh,
yeah.
I
hated Shakespeare. I hated Shakespeare until I performed it.
I didn't hate it, but I just didn't. It didn't do anything for me back then. Working on it now as a performer, or even potentially as a director, I think it would just be. It's just a different experience, or as an audience member, even.
Yeah, definitely. Because you can relax and sit back into that performance without overthinking it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I say, if it's done well, have you ever been to the Globe? Have you ever watched something? Yeah. It's just magic.
I've performed on the Globe stage.
No, stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're just showing off. Really? In what?
Oh, that's like, hold on. So I've performed. I'm completely making that to sound bigger than it actually is.
You are. Just roll with it, please. Just
right,
be that person.
So,
step out your comfort zone.
I was in Doctor Who, the Shakespeare's Code episode.
Right.
And I played Juliet. Because back in the day, women weren't allowed to perform.
Yeah.
So when Doctor Who time travels and he goes back to visit Shakespeare, Doctor Who watches a play at the Globe, and the play he's watching is Romeo and Juliet, and I'm Juliet.
I'm gonna have to look this up. I've never watched Doctor Who, but
have you not?
I'm gonna have to watch
Shakespeare's Code. I think there's a little clip on my Instagram somewhere, because do you know what? I get fan mail for it.
Stop.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I do. I'm in a book as well. I'm in a Doctor Who, because the Doctor Who fandom is huge and a massive thing.
I've never got on this bandwagon, and I feel like I'm missing out.
Oh, I love Doctor Who as well. So to be just a small, I'm a micro part of Doctor Who, like micro, like I'm a sand in the.
But you're not, because you're in a book.
I am, but I am though.
It's going to be on your headstone.
There's
Martin Colton
referenced in the Doctor Who. It was in the Doctor Who
People are
annual.
visit your grave and.
No, every now and then I'll get a random fan mail request to sign something, and
Sorry, I'm not laughing. That's wild.
It
isn't it?
It is wild. It is. I remember the first time I got this thing in the post. Like I got a picture of me. This person had found a picture of me. This is early days of the internet. They'd taken my MySpace profile picture, and they'd printed it out. And they'd put a nice little note with it. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I'm trying to collect every information from everyone involved. Please send and return. I'd be ever so grateful. Because it was like the first piece of fan mail. I didn't return it. No, that's really bad, isn't it? I didn't return. No, that's really bad.
I was about to say, how big was your ego back then? Because I'd have been like, yes, I've made it.
No, I was. I was like,
but you were so big, you didn't want to send it back.
Because I was like, I have to have this. I have to keep this moment. I have to I could be questioned about this by my children one day. Like, I got fan mail.
Oh. That poor fan.
Yeah, but I think
if you're listening, fan, please send it in.
Please
will sign it.
Yeah, please give me another go.
They might listen. They might be following.
Yeah, they might be still following now.
I hope so.
But yeah, and that was just an amazing experience to be. I was essentially an extra.
But still.
Yeah, and you see me in it for about 3 seconds. I worked on it for a week. It was a week of work down. It was a week of work both at the Globe and at their studios in Cardiff, because that's where the Doctor Who used to be filmed. They used to have actual studios. I don't know if they do anymore, but they had film studios down in Cardiff, and then on location at the Globe was just one night. But yeah, I had this one night being Shakespeare, being Juliet on the stage in the Globe Theatre, and I just and there was an audience. There was an audience of extras there that night.
Did you do the whole thing?
We did. We had to perform excerpts of the play.
Right.
And do you know what? Some of the performance stuff isn't in the episode.
Oh.
The basic bit that's in the episode is the bows. That's it. And there's this shot of me of it shows me in the dress and the makeup and.
I'm gonna have to look this up. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then it's quite interestingly, another community theatre friend is a leading character in that episode.
No.
Do you know Linda Clark?
Yes. Oh my goodness, Linda.
So Linda Clark plays one of the witches in that episode.
Wow.
Now, through no connection of me being there and her being there, I had the weirdest thing at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was having my hair and makeup done and costume done, because it's always an early start on a film set. And I step out of my trailer and there's this witch coming out of another trailer, and she hollers at me and she's like, "Oh, Martin, oh my God, what are you doing here?" And I've got this witch screaming this at me, and I'm like, "What the fuck?
Why does this witch know me?
Why does this witch know me?" And because she had all the prosthetics on the nose, the scary face, the eyes, the wig, unrecognisable. And she gave me a hug before I even knew who she was.
You were just hugging a witch.
And I was
you
like,
thought it was the fan, didn't you?
No, I hadn't had. I hadn't had the fan by this time though. So I was like, this is just some weird witch, creepy person. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you don't know who I am. I'm Linda from Carlo Theatre Company." And it was like, wow, how are we both down in Cardiff working on this same thing?
This is what I mean. We're so good. We're being hired left, right, and centre. We get fan mail.
Yeah, no, and but that's where community theatre can take you in strange directions, and it opens up your network.
Yeah.
Obviously, Linda is she gets tons of fan mail and followers from that episode because she is a main actor in the episode. She is the third witch. I think she's even got a name. I think she's got an action figure through the part. Yeah. No, she's like a proper Doctor Who fandom person, whereas I am in it for 3 seconds.
But well, you're still getting fan mail,
Yeah, so
amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the highlights of my career.
No, what's a highlight?
3 seconds in Doctor Who, 3 seconds in Harry Potter.
Now you're just bragging, quite honestly. Yeah, this really beats my music video that I was in.
Go on, the music video?
Yeah. Do you know what? So I was in what year was I in? 12. We didn't get a prom. this is mad. In my year 11 prom, I organised, because I was like, there's no way, the school is not giving us a prom. So I organised our year 11 prom. But in year 12, it turned out that, I can't remember which way around it was. But anyway, the year above us and our year didn't get something like a prom. So my school was approached for a prom-themed music video they wanted to film at our school. So they picked us at our 2 years, like me and my sister's year, ironically enough, and they were like, yeah, you've got to bring, because we're an all girls school as well, you've got to bring other halves, and you've got to get all dressed up. And I regret it instantly now, and this is like where I say I'm not a confident person. Someone came to me and they said, right, the scouts have been in the school and they've picked 2 girls to be like the love interest of 2 members of the band, but they want a third, and I thought you would be really good because you've got like good acting skills. But I was like, I don't feel pretty enough. Like, I don't, believe it or not, didn't look then how I look now, you know. So yeah, I passed it on to someone else. But yeah,
I think we all have moments like that.
Yeah,
don't we? We all have little moments of regret.
No, absolutely. But it was fun. It was still fun to like, they filmed at our school, and got to hang out with, because being in an all girls school, we got to hang out with a load of boys. It was quite fun,
Yeah. What band was it for? Was it
I can't remember.
Was it so long ago that
I just remember the song called Sacrifice. That's all.
Right. Yeah, it sounds very pop. That sounds like typical boy band.
They were big in Japan. They weren't big in the UK, so no one ever saw it. But yeah, literally, you can see all me and my school friends in like this.
Is it on YouTube?
Probably somewhere. Yeah, you probably could find it.
We'll put the link in the bottom in the description.
What? Link to your Juliet moment and my Japanese
Japanese pop band moment.
Well, they were Japanese, but yeah, they were big in Japan. But yeah, that's about as big as it gets, really, for me.
But like, you could easily take those moments of you doing that, being an extra in a pop band thing, me being an extra in Doctor Who, and go, they're your career highlights. Whereas really, your career highlights were Hand of the Baskervilles. Your career highlights was Rapunzel. Those were Vicar of Dibley. Yeah, those were your moments where you shone.
Yeah, because I think, we talked about it when we spoke about like kids' parties and the things that stick with people. But the amount of people that will recite lines either from any one of those shows back to me, and I've, what my brain's like, I've since forgotten it. When she's done with the show, I tend to just like
same with me. Like I have it for the show, and then
it's gone.
It's
like,
gone.
That's
even the next day.
Yeah, no, that's memory stored I need, so I'm just instantly delete. But yeah, people recite like lines back to me that I've just completely forgotten about. So it's really funny how those are my career highlights, but how much people remember and take away. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in kind of wrapping up this conversation, have you got any words of advice for anyone out there that's got a similar kind of career life to you, that maybe stepped away from acting, that should maybe consider getting back into it and having that as part of their life?
Yeah, I would always say just find someone somewhere, get involved, whether that's backstage or on stage, whatever it may be. I think theatre is always something you can come back to. You can leave and come back. You can leave and come back. As long as you don't lose that. If it sparks joy for you and it brings something to your life. Maybe you've forgotten. Maybe you need to re-find it. I don't know. But make sure you just carve it out and just come. I mean, who doesn't go to the theatre and have a good time, in my view? So if you see it and you enjoy it, surely just being part of it in some small capacity will just fill your heart even just a little bit. So I don't know, just don't forget it, I think.
Go and get involved.
Go get involved. It doesn't have to be your life. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. It can just be one of many facets of your life. You can be multifaceted, I think. And
that's really nice. That's beautiful. Well, I really appreciate your time, Lisa.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being part of this. I think that maybe one day we may have to get both you and Sean. I think I need a third mic. A couples one, because you've both been great on this, and I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been good chatting.
That's great. Thank you. We'll wrap this up. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. That
was the BTS Creative Academy podcast Uncut. I appreciate you joining us for this conversation. If you'd like to find out more about the BTS Creative Academy, just search BTS Creative Academy. And so you don't miss any future conversations or exciting updates, don't forget to like and subscribe.